All right, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Cluster API CI Signal team for the release 1.10 cycle. Um, this is a meeting of the CNCF. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we ask that you abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct. Please use the raise hands feature, though we're so small this morning and you probably don't need to. And just generally be groovy and nice to each other. All right. So this is Wednesday, January 22nd, if you're seeing this later. Oh, and also add your name to the spreadsheet if you're attending, or the Google Doc if you're attending, and ask me for the link if you need it. All right. So, short meeting today. Well, at least as far as agenda goes. Um, First of all, Amit had an idea yesterday about splitting up responsibilities by doing pairing and monitoring the CI jobs for 1 week at a time, and then switching to another pair. I wanted to open that up to discussion of people who are here to see if that's the way you'd want to do it, or if you'd rather not be like on call for a week and have things be more loose, or just have people. The other idea I had is that people could just claim tickets, and once someone had claimed it, other people could volunteer to pair with them on the specific issue as it comes up. I feel like we have plenty of people who are checking in on it regularly, that the idea of needing somebody to monitor it for a whole week at a time probably isn't necessary. But this is a group, and I want to respect everyone's ideas here, and if that's the way, and see how people want to do it. So I'm going to shut up now. Anyone want to address that or have any thoughts on that?
I have something. I mean, to be fully honest, because this is my first time being in this team, I don't think I have the confidence to just go and assign something to myself and claim to own it.
Mm-hmm.
So my preference would be to know that this week I have to check everything and be paired with someone. So like if I need help or I'm in doubt somewhere, like I can work with them and take care of the things. But again, that's me. Maybe other people have more effective ways of doing this. And I'm open to any idea, really. I don't have any hard feelings around this, but just trying to be honest here.
Um, okay, for me as well, I'm new to the community. But yeah, if I get somebody else collaborating on me with me on a certain issue, and we are able to discuss that out, I think it's going to work for me. And I think that's the way I would start as well, and that will help me grasp over different stuff that we have in CI. Um,
All right. So my thoughts on this is that I'm also relatively new to the CI signal team. Well, I'm 100% new to the CI signal aspect of this. Usually I maintain a provider. So this whole looking and monitoring the upstream CI is new to me, though I have troubleshot the end-to-end tests because we use them on our provider back when I was working on the Equinix Metal provider. So I have some familiarity with the tests, but I've never done this CI signal thing before, and I've definitely never been the CI signal lead before. So a lot of this is new for me too. I'm probably going to keep trying to monitor all the things all the time, every week during this entire cycle, just because I'm the team lead. So I probably should be involved the whole time. But I don't have a problem either pairing with people when I'm doing deep dives or trying to do deep dives, because again, debugging a lot of these in upstream is a little different than it was in the provider, and it's going to take me a while to sort through them too. So I don't know that I can just pair with someone and explain it all to them, because I'm going to be figuring it out too. Um, but I have no problem with us having, while I'm doing kind of my overview, if you guys are taking tests and delving into them with a partner, that's great too. And then maybe I can step back, let you guys figure it out and do your learning, and then you share with us, and then we all learn, and you have the experience of having to figure it out from scratch on your own, which is basically what I'm doing too. So anyway, I'm not really opposed to it. I would appreciate some help in figuring out the pairing schedule. I think that part, the administration part of that would be, um, is the biggest issue, I think, is just getting that coordination done. Um, and I don't, go
All
ahead.
fair. I just want to know how many people were are actually going to do this work.
That's a great question. I think so we've heard from, I guess, Amit, you and Satyam for sure that you'd be interested in it. And I don't
Mhm.
know who else, right? Uh, so I think we need to do a little more discussion in our Slack. So further discussion to happen in our Slack channel to figure out how many folks are actually interested to see if we have enough to make such a rotation feasible. Is that
Mhm.
fair?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, and I
That I can
think
coordinate. Yeah.
even for the time being, if it's gonna be only the three of us or four of us, again, that's just a suggestion. We can even start coordinating sometime between ourselves on a daily basis, half an hour or something. Get on a call, look at things together, try to figure it out as much as we can. And if you have questions, we ask in the channel, and go
Mhm.
from there. And as we get more comfortable and confident, or more people want to join, then we can have a more, I guess, organized way of doing rotational work.
Yeah, if people want to just schedule calls and start doing that, that's great. Given the large distribution across the world, I feel like immediately the most convenient thing is for folks to do like a Europe focused or an India focused time zone calls that I probably won't be part of just because of when they would happen, but then can start sharing the learning back. But oh, anyway, all right, I love it.
Um,
Go ahead.
Satyam or Suram, what do you guys think? Like, is it something that is interesting to you? Do you think it's gonna work that way for you, or you want to wait and see if other people are gonna be there? Or
Well, I guess we
Well,
can like,
yeah, I agree with that.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we can do that. Also, there was one thing I wanted to point out is I saw somewhere on the docs that the people who will be contributing to the CI signal team exactly, there are names. Shouldn't we just assume that those are the guys who are going to contribute here?
Um, they're on the team, but some of many of them are kind of shadowing or it's their first time, so they may not want to do this. And also they don't necessarily want to sign up for being on a rotation because that is
Mhm.
clear. Being on that team does not mean you're on a pager schedule or on a, you know, this is not a job. This is a volunteer thing. So I don't want to just force them into it like that. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
But they're all in this room. So like if we're talking about it in the Slack, you should be
Hmm.
reaching all of them. So that we're already talking, if that makes sense.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, but like, just saying that we'll be on rotation doesn't mean that the person who's like, responsible for a particular week has to do all the
Right.
work, right? It's just they
Correct.
are on the lookout for the like whatever goes wrong, and they can like just coordinate with everybody else that this is something that we need to look into, and
Hmm.
other folks can also pitch in, and I guess it shouldn't be that bad. And I think once I mean, when I say we, I mean like all the folks who are interested in doing this, once they get started, I think more people would be uh, like more folks who are in the list, but not necessarily uh, like interested in the in doing this rotation thing would be um, interested, I guess, once
Hmm.
we start with something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think more people will join as we start doing the work and show them, hey, it's doable. It's not as bad as you think or scary as you think. And then
Right.
people will be, and I understand people have jobs and everyone is busy, and it's hard to expect everyone to always be there and do this work. But when we get started, I think more people will join.
So it sounds like the first thing we need is just the volunteers for the first week, and then maybe that'll get things rolling.
When we talk about first week, are we talking about like starting today? Like how do you define the week?
That's what makes sense to me, right? Because all of
Okay.
our summary meetings are on Wednesday. Wednesday to Wednesday is a common.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, uh,
Um, I still need to make my local setup work. Honestly, I
sure.
didn't spend the time on it, but I mean, mm, uh, when I'm under pressure, I do better work, like I work better.
Oh, I
So
know.
if you
Yeah.
assign me to this week, I'll make it work.
Well, but and like you said, we're not expecting. I want to phrase this right. Like you don't have to actually come up with anything the first week. It's about doing the process and figuring this stuff out. So like if it takes you a week to figure out kind of how it's going, that's fine. And then
Yeah.
you'll do better next time you're on, and it'll continue. And I'll still
I
be
guess
watching, and other people still be watching, so it's not a big
yeah,
deal.
that's what I want to make sure of. Like we are sure that because someone is new and they're figuring things out, important things are not being missed.
I don't think that'll. Yeah, I important things will not be missed because right now I have nothing better to do than watch the CI signal. So.
Oh, that was a sad confession.
Uh, I'm in
But
between
thank you.
opportunities, so it's I got the time. But even then, I missed some things. So all right, so we'll follow up more in the chat after this
Okay.
meeting. I wanted to touch on the conformance test yesterday that failed. Like, I felt guilty I didn't see that, but I realized it was some of that was in my junk email, which I fixed. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, yesterday in the channel, what's his name? Steven noticed that the conformance tests were failing in one of the one of the many CI signals that we have, which let's see, bring it up here. This one right here. So the CAPI end-to-end latest Kates main, which is done with the latest version of CAPI against the latest up-to-date upstream of Kubernetes. So it had the latest Kubernetes end-to-end tests. And one of our tests inside that CI, this particular collection, does a conformance test, which was failing. And he saw that yesterday and he alerted everyone cluster API overnight. Another person, who was it? Let's see, what's his name? Chris, Christian Slaughter. Uh, he noticed as well, but he was actually better plugged in to know exactly who to alert on this. So between him and Steven, they alerted it to SIG Network, who have already pushed a fix for it apparently. So I think in our next run, which is going on right now, we're going to see that we won't have an error on these conformance tests anymore. So this looks like it was fully an upstream issue where the end-to-end conformance test for Kubernetes was not properly written to deal with a change that was made to the Kubernetes. Uh, the, where was that? In sorry, I was just reading this earlier. It's just the endpoint code and how it counts endpoints and stuff. So this is just a basic Go test definition thing that needed to be updated. So not a big error or anything, but um, I wanted to talk about it here because this is just one of the things that can happen for us is we'll see a big error come in. Multiple people will notice it, which should make you feel good. Like if we don't see it, like multiple other layers are looking as well and they caught it. Um, and it wasn't our fault anyway, and there's nothing we can really do about it. So, but in this case, it was Notify Sig Network since they owned a test and they fixed it. In theory, we'll see once the test finishes if it actually succeeded. So, any questions on that one?
Nope.
Okay, cool. And then the other thing I was gonna just point out is later today at the other CAPI meetings, I'm going to float the idea of us having release teams focus Slack channels. Um, because something I said earlier was wrong. Not everybody is in our Slack thread because our Slack thread is too big. So one of the things I was going to look into doing was working with SIG contribute contributor experience to set up a bunch of ongoing cluster API release team Slack channels that people can be added to and removed from, and we can do better Slack related features on. So um, I'm assuming people would not be opposed to that, right? Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine anyone being against that. All right. So I'm done. Anyone have anything else they want to bring up or talk about?
Yeah, quick question. I still don't have an invite to the release team meeting.
Which like this meeting or the general one?
The general one.
There is an invite for that meeting.
I don't believe that there is.
Oh, okay. No,
I
I
don't
thought
know.
maybe if I yeah, sorry, I thought
That's
maybe if
an
I joined
optional
like
meet.
the okay,
I was
okay.
just saying that's an optional meet, but there is an invite if you subscribe to the what's that calendar?
The
I mean,
mailing list, right?
yeah, right. That's one.
Yeah, I did that, but sometimes the mailing list takes a long time to get synced or something. I don't know. I'll try to get it from
No,
the
the Google lists are weird and they don't always sometimes I have to copy events to my own Google Calendar and then forward them to the calendar I actually use since I don't actually it's all a mess. Can somebody
So,
just volunteer to copy and send him that invite?
yeah, that would be nice because I don't think I have that either. I mean, there
Nice.
was a release cut meeting yesterday that I just got to know about because
That's a different meeting than
that,
even
that's a so yeah, I mean, I don't know if you tell us like how many meetings we should be part of, that helps with figuring out what
Uh,
I'm missing and what
you don't have to be part of
Yeah.
any meeting as far as I know. But this one makes sense to be part of. That one, the release planning meeting does make sense to be part of. Let me just post it in the Slack channel at least. No, I'm gonna post it in our in our chat. Do.
Oh, is that the one that is happening today at 1 p.m.?
So it is 1 p.m. which time zone, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Exactly.
Okay. Eastern time zone. 9:30
No, that
a.m.
would be the normal cluster API meeting at
Okay.
1
This is
p.m.
the one before that.
A half hour before the normal
Okay,
meeting
okay,
on the
okay,
same channel, the same Zoom that
okay,
we're using for this and that we'll be using for that.
okay,
That's when the release team planning meeting is.
okay. I
Um,
think I don't have an invite for it, but
I
I
just
guess you
pasted it
always
in our
mentioned.
thing.
Yeah, perfect.
And and we should ask. What I would say is people who want an invite to that. I want to make
Too bad.
Matt
Just
be.
add it to account.
Now, part of me wants to say make Matt do it, but I think he said earlier that wasn't working well for him either. So I don't know. I will just figure out a way to send you guys the email. In the meantime, I posted in the Zoom, so
Thank
you
you.
may add that as a follow up for me. Invite folks to general release team meeting as well. All right, cool. It's on my list. Hello, Matt. Did you want to talk about any? We talked about your proposal. We like the idea. We're going to try and do some of the coordination in
Yes.
Slack at first.
Yeah, so actually, I've been part of the previous release team as well.
Oh, good.
So
Okay.
there we have this rotation, like 2 week of rotation. So like according to the time zone, we have done pair up, like 2 to 3 guys come together. Then so that like if I am in the Indian time, then so in the night I will not be able to check. So
Yep.
maybe someone who is in some other time zone, he will be able to see and will be
How
able
did
to.
you all coordinate that?
So yeah, we will make a schedule and we will add some documentation page somewhere, and we have to follow that only. So I can help with that. We can manage a Excel sheet, something that who is, we can say sort of on call only. So who will be on call, we can say that.
Yeah, if you're volunteering, I would love your help in doing the coordination of setting up that schedule.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I will come up with the initial idea, and then we can fill the names, like how we want to collaborate, like how we want to pair up all those things we can do. In the grouping, you can help how we want to group up.
Yeah, and I agree. It'll probably be by time zone or relative time zone. That makes sense. Cool. All right. I'm gonna call that
Yeah.
there unless oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to like tell Amit that before you had joined the call, we were talking about this the rotation thing, and one thing that came up was like all of us on the call right now, like all the shadows, we are all in the release team for the first time, so we were not really sure if we will be able to like we were concerned whether we would miss something important, and Chris did mention that that would not happen, but still we are interested in doing the rotation thing, but since we are not really familiar with it, we were unsure about that. But since you mentioned that you've been in the CI team previously, like it would be great if you can help us, like maybe we
Yeah,
can shadow
so
you for a week or something. Yeah.
so actually, like, so let's suppose there is some flaky tests are there, then we will to try to debug. And if we are not able to do that, then we can inform the team, and together, like in the meeting or somewhere, we can debug. So in that way, we can like some pair programming, all those things we can do.
Yeah, awesome. I guess we can,
Yeah,
like
and
Chris, we can discuss this on the Slack and
yeah, we should do that. Again, since I'm also new to this and am clearly not able to debug every flaky test that comes up, I've been trying to focus on one or two, and I'm still just getting into properly reproducing them because they're very old, complicated, and they don't want to flake all the time. But the important thing is once a test is identified as flaky, that there's an issue open for it and that everyone knows about it in general. And I believe that's the case for all the current flakes. And so we don't have to fix it ourselves necessarily. I know the documentation said be really good if we could, and I agree it would be. But if we can't fix it, we can't fix it. The important part is it's documented. I'll leave it at that.
One question.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chris or Amit, if you know about it. So I saw today's failure in the CI test, but if you look at the dashboard, there are actually more flakes than there are failures. So, Chris, when you say we are working on the flakes, do you mean these flakes or the failures? Like,
I mean the flakes.
okay.
There's the one failure. Is there another failure? The only failure I'm aware of is the one I talked about earlier, with the
Yeah,
conformance
that's the only one I
suite.
see as well.
Yeah, okay. The flakes, and this is something that I had to learn, and that was helpfully pointed out by Stephen, from the last. I think he was in charge of the CI signal team the last couple cycles. Most of the ongoing flakes have already been reported and known issues, and I haven't seen one that popped up yet that doesn't align with an issue that's already open in the cluster API repo. And that's here. If you check my screen here, that's these issues here. The cluster called upgrade flake, the timed waiting for all control planes to be updated, the timed waiting for all machines to exist one. Yeah, these are the ones that if we have nothing else to do and we're looking for some way to help and contribute, these are the flakes to work on. But they are not, from what I've seen, everyone I've tried to start looking into, it's not like a very simple, easy to understand thing to fix. But hopefully I'm wrong, and then I can learn something too, that however I'm missing debugging it properly. But I think part of the reason they've been sitting here so long is because they're not like simple things to fix.
Okay, all right. Thanks for
So one of
clarifying.
the things to do is like, yeah, when you see a flake in there, looking through the error messages and seeing if it aligns with one of these, because that probably means it's one of these flakes. That's
Okay,
not a
cool.
perfect method. Yes, sometimes you'll have different errors with the same error message. I have seen that, but I haven't seen that yet with these flakes currently. I'm sorry. And I wish I could say more confidently than that, but that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun big task, so we'll all get through it together.
Um,
Go ahead.
so one more thing, because we briefly talked about this. I am okay to be part of this week's let's call rotation. Is anybody else gonna be available this week so we work together? And we will have to figure out the time and days and things like that. But
Let's put that in the Slack channel so it's all written down instead of
okay.
yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that works. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I will answer this in the Slack as well, but just to answer your question, Sepide, I can be available, but like you said, I am also figuring out the local setup. So,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe we can
Let's suffer together.
yeah.
And then ask questions in the thread. We can have threaded you can have
Yeah.
threads inside the thread. So if you guys
Yeah.
are having trouble getting it working, make little sub threads, talk about it. We can help. You can work in your own time zone, and then we can try and do huddles or something in there to if people are available to work on it live.
Sounds good.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to stop the recording, and we'll see you later at the release time meeting and the general Cappy meeting, and in the Slack.
Thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank
See you
Bye.
guys.
you.
Bye.